Greetings, music lovers. Roger Bowie here for music.net.nz, and today I'm rapping with Tom Maxwell. Tom, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good, mate. Now you got a band called the Killergrams, but you also play solo. So how does that work? How much is it with the band, and how much is it just Tom?
It just depends on the show, I guess. I'd do it with the band all the time if I could, but all the boys have got, partners and lives to themselves, so sometimes people can't make it. I'm currently about to go and play a couple of solo shows just on my own, which is also nice for a change. Yeah.
Cool. Now, with a name like Killergrams, you might be forgiven for anticipating a hard rock sound, but it's not. It's a sound that comes sort of out of the deep south somewhere. I would put it somewhere south of Nashville and closer to Muscle Shoals.
Yeah.
And yet, born in Arrowtown. So, yeah, is that where you think you're from musically?
Yeah. I love a lot of the old blues recordings, a lot of the singer-songwriters and country music as well. So I like sort of trying to blend all those things together, and then maybe just trying to throw a sort of a slightly modern sort of take on it.
So who specifically is inspiring all this?
Storytelling, Townes Van Zandt.
Aha.
He's amazing, but yeah, and completely honestly, a lot of Rolling Stones records, the classic Rolling Stones records were what really sort of started to get me into sort of country music and things like that. It's sort of a great gateway, but I still go back to them all the time for sure.
Yeah. Someone come around the other night and said, I want to hear Far Away Eyes.
yeah.
So we dug that out and played it loud.
Good.
Now, you're in a very special place right now, physically, if not spiritually, probably both. So tell us where you are and what's going on there.
I don't know if you can see old Timmy here, but I'm at in the Waitaki Valley at Sublime Studio. There's a recording studio out here, so I've been out here for the last week or so, working on Killergrams and a couple of other projects as well.
Sublime, they're making a real name for themselves. I keep coming across the South Island artists are all flocking to Kurow.
Yeah.
What do these guys do? What are they bringing to the party?
Everyone is coming here, rightly so. It's just like it's sort of a element of comfort. They've got fantastic equipment. They've got everything that you need, and also they take great care of you, and they're just really good people as well. So it's just a fantastic environment to come down and record, because you feel so welcome and at home.
It's a lot of people now, of course, don't need a studio. They're recording remotely and hooking up with their team wherever they may be, wherever in the world, and still making some pretty good music and getting time to tinker. Whereas you've got to pay for studio time, and so what's that extra bit that you get from being in the studio?
Well, yeah, it is a bit of money. That's true. We've been fortunate to have a bit of money from playing some shows, and we've had a bit of funding and things like that as well, which always help it. But it's not so expensive here that it's not justifiable. But they don't charge you an arm and a leg. It's not like the old days where it's the clock's ticking and you're just feeling all this pressure to get the most out of your money, but they've just got all this great old analog equipment, which is really hard to find.
Yes.
And they've sort of pieced it together over time. I've been here 3 or 4 times now, and with various sort of projects, and each time it's just gotten better and better. But yeah, that's that's a huge draw card just in of itself. The fact that they've got all this great classic analog equipment. Being a sort of a Luddite myself to a certain degree, I appreciate that approach to recording and making music as well.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's the next best, greatest thing is in Littleton, I guess.
Yep.
With
yeah,
Glenn
I've
Edwards, yeah.
recorded. I've got an album in the can that I haven't done anything with yet, but I went up to the sitting room with Ben Edwards and did an album up there. It's a couple of friends of mine, Ryan Fishman and Elmore Jones.
Oh, I know those guys. So I know. I
Yeah.
saw Ryan was in Gore a couple of years ago. He had a song up in the Songwriters Award.
Yeah, that's right. I was actually going to come down with him
And
for that one, but yeah, yeah.
Elmore Jones has got the best name ever
Ryan's
since Elmore James.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
We had a little.
They're great fellas. But yeah, sitting room up in Littleton as well. Yeah, Ben Edwards for sure. He's fantastic.
So this is an album.
What's that? Sorry,
we're losing a bit. So this is you're just finishing off an album, a Killergrams album right now, right?
Yeah, yep.
And it's the second album, yeah.
I'm just on the phone. Sorry, Steve. That's Steve Harrop there. He's the head of the studio.
You tell him I want to do. Do you tell him I want to do a session with him? I want to talk.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll put you guys in touch for sure. Sorry, what was the question again?
Question is, this is the second album. What happened to the first?
Yeah, so the first album that we did that in Port Chalmers, actually, at Chick's Hotel. That was a few years ago now. And then I moved up to Christchurch, Littleton for 2-3 years. Then COVID struck and I came back down to Arrowtown. So while I was up there, I was still writing, and like I was saying, I'd recorded an album. I was just, like, to be honest, I was sort of like not in a great headspace. I had just had a breakup with a long-term partner, and just self-doubting, really, if I'm completely honest. And then so I didn't think anything was very good. And I listened back to those sessions that I did up in Littleton recently, and I was like, oh, okay, there's actually some good stuff in here, so I might do something with it. So
no, cool.
We'll see. But yeah, after that first album, that was a great exercise. That was like the first time that I'd really been out on my own, and I felt like I was sort of, it was almost like a exercise in songwriting. Like, can I actually do this? Can I get together a album's worth of material just on my own? And I tried to be as personal and minimalist, I guess, as well as possible when I was doing that.
Cool. So what's going to be so special about the new Killergrams album? I mean, I've heard a couple of tracks, and sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
and tell us about that. Speak a little bit about the current album and who's in the band. Tell us about that too.
Sure. I've got my friend Ruben Pierce on the drums, Nick Lynch from the Lynch family. They're a very well-known musical family.
I've heard that name before. Yeah.
Yeah, the old Lynch mob back in the day with their father Kevin. They were, it's a very prominent sort of musical family in the Arrowtown area. So yeah, he's fantastic. He's on the keyboards, and then I've got my brother, my younger brother, Sam Maxwell, and on the bass, and he does some backing vocals as well. So that's really cool. It's great to have him in the band. Love playing music with him. And yeah, we just spent about, in total, we've spent about 8 days. So not super long, but we've just got a sort of a cool bunch of songs together that are, in this regard, they're sort of slightly rockier. It was like the first album sort of like gentle and reflective, I guess. I was, like I was saying, about sort of like breakups and things like that. With this one, Lonely Nights in a Little Town's the idea of the title of the album, and it's sort of trying to put yourself in other people's shoes. So it's sort of like these sort of created narratives of like situations that people might get into, living in, a small town in New Zealand, I guess. It's
but our town's a little big town, really, isn't it?
Yeah, there's plenty of shit going on.
and Tom, you do all the writing, or is it some of this a collaborative effort?
No, I do all the writing. I normally come to the fellas with the songs, and then we sort of figure out how we're going to approach them.
Yeah. So I wasn't just it wasn't in jest that I talked about your physical health and your spiritual health. You got to be aligned to make a really good album, don't you?
Yeah, that's very true. Being in a place like this helps. Like we were talking about, this sort of relaxed. You feel very welcome in a place like this, so that's really good. But yeah, you're trying to convey a feeling or something. You're trying to capture something in a bottle. So yeah, it's very cathartic sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's the word. That's a good word. And the other word I talk to about with musicians is the self-actualization piece, when you actually get up on stage and perform these songs. Is that something which you can relate to?
Yep. Yeah, it's we've been talking about that a lot over this process, because it's how far do you go when you're recording? You can sort of do anything these days if you want, but it's kind of good to limit yourself. And also within recording the song, it's like, how are we going to play this live? Are we going to be able to pull this off?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's been an interesting sort of process as well. It's like, okay, can we go? Should we go out here into this sort of like sonic, recording world, or do we want to keep it, in the live world as well?
Yeah. I can sure with that. All that gear, and the fact that you can actually keep on tinkering remotely, you can become a Beatles and can't not be able to play the bloody stuff live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a thing. You've got to. I mean, our approach is always less is more. You know.
Yeah.
So many of the recordings that I love and I've been listening to lately, especially Aldous Harding's Designer album.
Yeah.
Just been listening to that a lot lately. Just minimalism, less is more. Sometimes that's all you need is a piano, bass, and drums. Yeah. A voice.
It's amazing what can be done. Now, so as you said, making an album costs money. You can't do it all as a musician, so you got a day job every now and then.
Yeah. Yep. I run a small company that I've got for myself, and that's great. Actually, it just means that I can go away and do stuff like this because I'm working for myself. I've got that personal freedom. I'm not sort of owing anybody anything. Once I finish a job, I can bugger off for a week. So that's quite good.
We lost the narrative a little bit there. Sorry, was it painting company? Was it?
Yeah. Sorry, did I cut out? Yeah. So small painting company. And I that's that's my day job. That pays the bills.
I can
I've
imagine.
started.
I can imagine the painting can be very therapeutic. And do you write any songs while you got the brush in your hand? Do you have to put the brush down and jump on the phone and capture a thought?
I wish I could say that I did, but I'm too busy trying not to make a mistake. I think. I listen to a lot of music though, for sure. That's probably what gets you through the day. Is listening to, or an audio book or something like that. That's always good too. But no, it can be, if you're in the right setting, it can be quite an enjoyable job. Actually, you just got to it's an attention to detail. Yeah. That's the whole thing. That's cool. I also have started doing like helping out other people with like their recordings and things like that as well. So that's like sort of a wee earner on the side as well, just stepping in sort of, but that's more like sort of a producing sort of role where they ask me to come in and they might not necessarily know what they're after, so I'll come in and give them a hand and try and get something together that they're happy with. So
teasing it out.
So
what are the plans? What are the plans for the album? I can't wait to hear it, and because it's coming out in next month.
Yeah, we've got another single coming out next month.
Okay.
It's called Make It This Time. It's sort of like just like a sort of straight ahead rock song, I guess. About a couple. It's like loosely about a couple who are living in a small town, and they've got a few issues. There's like a line in it called like 30 is the new 40. And that was like something that I heard somebody say down the street, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. The sort of idea of like maybe I should be something more than I am at this age, or something like that.
When I was your age, we were being told that men stop being curious at 40, and so never to fall into that trap. And so, for sure, the problem now with there's a men's mental health problem about people stopping being curious at 50. So yes, it is getting a bit older, but don't ever. I don't think a musician ever stops getting curious.
No, well, hopefully not. Yeah, we'll just keep pushing that yardstick out. We'll just keep going. Yeah. I feel like I'm a pretty young 30-something-year-old. And I don't want to lose that for sure.
Look, let's just be like me. I don't know what I'm going to do if I ever grow up.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Tom, look, this is Tom Maxwell. There's a new album coming out. Check out the Killergrams. The first album I discovered it on Spotify. I'm just getting into it, so if you people out there haven't heard Killergrams, go look it up and watch out for the new singles. And think about the Deep South, and think about Arrowtown, and think about the Autumn, and think about some good old Southern boogie and a little bit of country rock. And you've got Tom Maxwell and his band. Tom, I'm going to wrap it up there. It's been great to talk to you. I hope to see you live on the road soon, and particularly up here in Auckland. And if not, we'll catch you on the next trip to Queenstown.
Yeah. I probably should say, actually, I'm getting flown over to the UK, playing some shows over there. So I'll be away for about 3 months. But when I get back, it'd be good to link up for sure.
Tom Maxwell, thanks very much.